right, Jasmine. First and foremost, congratulations on a successful UFC debut. Fresh off a decision win over Kay Hansen at UFC 270 last weekend in Anaheim. You've got to be very excited. Sum it up for me. How are you feeling right now?
Yeah, it was awesome. But everything from when I got to Anaheim to leaving Anaheim was honestly like great. Everything was like falling into place. Everything was amazing. There was no hiccups, no adversity that I had to overcome or anything like that. It was good, and I had a successful fight, got the win, and then just like hung out with the team after, and now it's amazing. I feel like I'm still kind of basking in that win.
I bet. I bet. I'm sure that feeling will last for quite a while. You mentioned no adversity. Were there any UFC jitters though? We hear about the jitters a lot. Did you experience that?
Of course, like a UFC debut, going against the hometown girl on a major card, two title fights on the card. Like there was a lot that a lot of pressure, but I feel like I really dealt with that pressure well. I was almost like not surprised, but yeah, I just tried to like take everything in and enjoy it all.
hmm Let's talk about the fight a little bit. I mean, you had an answer for everything she did in there. You just seemed like the better fighter on the night. How happy are you with the performance? Anything you can take away from it?
Yeah, I'm really happy with my performance. I didn't open up as much as I like normally would or wanted to. I played it very very safe, but I didn't want to lose my debut, and oh, that would kill me, break my heart. So I'm like, I got to be very like no shortcuts with this. I got to be very like sound,
hmm
and so yeah, I'm very happy with that because I was able to think in there with all of those like external things going on.
Does that ever cross your mind, sort of, that if things had gone a little bit differently, you could be sitting in some hotel room right now, sulking over a loss, rather than celebrating the victory in interviews?
I do sometimes, and oh man, that would not
Yeah.
be that would not be nice.
Well, the good news is that it went your way. UFC debut, as we said, you talked about the just the feeling and everything and how everything went pretty well for you. But having come up on the regional scene, fighting in Canada, fighting for CFFC and stuff, how does a big UFC show like that compare to fighting on the regional scene? What were the most striking differences for you?
It's the same, but it's different. There's so much that's different, and there's so much that's the same. Like, in preparation, it's all the same. But when you get there, like the UFC just treats you so well. It's awesome. They like provide you with all the food. I could have went into the hotel. You got to be there 3 days early because of all the COVID stuff. I could have went there with nothing and been fine. Like they hook you up with everything, food, supplements. You have a plan for how to drop the weight and everything. Like it clothes, a whole bunch of swag. I got a bunch of sick swag now. It says UFC on it, and
Amazing.
yeah, it's cool. The first time seeing like your last name on the clothes is pretty nuts. So I
I bet that's kind of
it was good.
It's got to be so surreal seeing your name on the fight kit there. This is something, of course, that you manifested, as the kids say. You had a bet with a friend that people have been talking about for quite a while now. But for the people that haven't heard about this bet, can you kind of explain to me how this happened and what the stakes of the bet were?
Yeah, so my friend and I were watching it was UFC Ottawa a couple of years ago, and like I just started training at the time, so we're watching the event, and then like, I was like looking around and I'm like seeing the lights and seeing everything that's going on. I'm like, this is awesome. I think I'm gonna try to make a run at this. So I told her, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna try to make a run at this. And she starts dying laughing. She's like, ah, like if you make it into the UFC, then I'll get your face tattooed on my ass. And then we, have a couple drinks, enjoy the night, and the next day we're driving home. I'm like, so Kylie, like for real, you're gonna get this tattoo if I make it in the UFC? And then she's like, yeah, I'll do it. And then it was like after the Contender Series fight, I messaged her. I'm like, get that ass ready.
So is she doing it? Is she getting the tattoo? Has she yet?
She's doing it. Yeah, no, we were waiting until like my first real fight, so this fight. So now
Right.
we haven't booked it yet, but yeah, we're gonna make sure to get it all documented and everything.
So is this going to be like a lifelike portrait of you or something stylized? Is it up to her, up to you?
I don't know. We haven't decided yet. Like we're still discussing if it should be like a character, if it should be real, if it like
Mhm.
what it should be. I think I'm gonna like throw something up on social media and like have people send in ideas or something like that. I feel like that'd be the coolest.
Yeah, that sounds like it would be very funny for you and perhaps not so funny
Yeah,
for her.
I know, right? She's thinking, man, I'm gonna have this on my body the entire life. Oh.
So is this the end of the betting between you two, or is she gonna get another tattoo if you win the title? How's that going?
Ooh, I like that. Now, it wasn't nothing planned, but I feel like I'm gonna try to put that in her ear now. Maybe another friend.
Yeah, you can cover all your friends in tattoos. That's
Yeah.
perfect. Well, let's talk about the title. Obviously, some distance off at the moment, given that you just made your UFC debut, but that is the goal for every fighter that makes it to this show. Title's currently held by Valentina Shevchenko, who is just an incredible champion. What do you think about her?
She's a sick fighter. But I feel like, I anyone can win on any night. Like that's what's crazy about fighting. And I feel like I'm still developing as a fighter. So by the time I get to that spot, then I think I'll be more than prepared for the opportunity.
You mentioned that anybody can lose on any given night. After watching Juliana Pena beat Amanda Nunes last month, does that
Yeah.
sort of give you flyweights hope that perhaps this Shevchenko woman can be beaten after all?
Yeah, definitely. Like, every look at Joanna, she was on top for a while, and then it's
Hmm.
like now she's not. I haven't even seen her fight for so long, So every there's a kryptonite to everyone.
Hmm. Long road to that title, of course, at the moment. But when you look ahead, you look at the top 15 of this division. It's just loaded with amazing talent. You got the veterans, you got the up and comers. How do you feel when you look at the top 15 of your division? Are you excited to fight these women? Nervous? I mean, what's the feeling like for you?
The little bit of A, little bit of B. Of course, I'm very, very excited to get like be going against girls in top 15. But I mean, obviously nervous as well. Every fight that you're going into is the hardest fight of your life. The one ahead of you is always the hardest and most important. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it will be like amazing to be able to fight some of these girls that I've been watching for the past while.
Hmm. There's so much new fresh talent in this division right now, and you're of course a part of this. Do you feel like in a year or 2 years time the top 15 as it exists right now is going to look just completely different as all of newer women come and start to make waves in this division?
Yeah, I could see that. I think it will shake things up. There's a lot of talent coming up.
Cool, cool. Well, I've got to ask you, the only loss on your record was to Elise Reed at CFFC. It was a title fight, I believe. Now that didn't go your way, but you're both in the UFC now. Is that something you think about? Maybe getting that one back, given that it was a split decision?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, she fights at 15, and right
Hmm.
now I'm 25. But I mean, like I'm not against going to down to 15 for the right opportunity. But yeah, I mean, that's potential matchup.
Hmm. Does that loss bother you at all? You've looked, stupendous so far in your career, and you look great in that fight too. It was just, a split decision. Sometimes they don't go your way. Does that bother you at all, or you kind of move past it?
Yeah, it bothers me. I think I won that fight. I mean, I think she knows I won that fight as well. I like even watching the video. You can see the surprise on her face when they call her name. But whatever,
Hmm.
that loss was as everyone says, the loss is the best thing that could have happened to me, and blah blah blah, all that. And it is true. I definitely grew so much from that loss. it was tough. I dealt with it, and I've definitely grown from it. But yeah, I don't want to have any more losses. Those suck.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I'm sure that it's a very dejecting experience after that loss, first loss of your career. I mean, how were you feeling about the possibility of making it to the UFC after that? Did it damage your confidence at all?
Um, I don't really remember. If, I mean, I'm sure it did for a little bit. I'm sure I didn't have the best sparring days
Mhm.
for a little while after that. But I mean, I not nothing didn't damage it like detrimentally. I'm not
Mhm.
thinking about it anymore.
That's good. That's good. Well,
Yeah.
the good news is that you're officially a UFC fighter now. You've got the debut in the books. How does that feel? You can put that on your resume if you wanted. How does that feel?
Yeah, no, it feels amazing. It's because you get the contract after Contender Series, but it isn't until you actually have the debut that you really feel like a UFC fighter.
Mhm, mhm. Well, let me ask you one more question before I let you go. I know you got big things to do. A lot of very exciting options for you on the horizon in this division. You're just getting started. I mean, what does the perfect year look like for you?
Hopefully, I can get 4 fights in this year at least, maybe 5, because I fought so early, like this time. So yeah, I'm looking to fight often if I can.